Hi, welcome to the Conversation Shop with Sedrick Page. I'm here with my very special guest, Mr. Jeremy Crosby of Fact TV. Jeremy, welcome to the Conversation Shop.
Cedric, thanks for being patient. You asked me a while ago, and I
Yes.
appreciate you having me on.
Well, I'm very happy to have you on. I think the platform that Fact TV provides to the community, quite frankly, is extraordinary. And I think it's a lot of people in the community don't really understand who you are, what you do, what you offer. And for those in the community that wish to support programs like mine or to make sure that Fact TV stays here forever and still creates a platform for the public, I'd really like to explore, donations and some of the options that the public has to support us. So, Jeremy, if you don't mind, please tell my audience a little bit about you, who you are, and how you got into doing what you're doing here at Fact TV.
So, Jeremy Crosby, I'm the manager of Fact TV. Fitchburg Access Community Television. I started in 2010 here. We went through quite a bit of transition since then, but overall, my role here is the directing the operations, whether it's managing the staff, the content, keeping up with the equipment, technology, finding producers like yourself. We do a daily newscast here every day, which is crazy. And then everything else in between. So my role is it's busy, but it's good. As far as Fact TV goes, Fact TV, from what we can tell, has been going since 1990, and maybe even earlier than that.
Yes.
But there's always been an idea of having local television and a place for people to have access to equipment and broadcasting. Way before YouTube or any of the social media stuff we have today.
Exactly.
It was your platform. We're a PEG station, being public education government. That was something that was put in place by governments a long time ago, and again, giving you that opportunity to get the word out, forcing cable companies to have space for local TV stations, and folks to get the information out, get local media meetings out, access, but really just a platform for people to do and express, back to their community on what's going on. I think that's transition, which we can talk about later, but that's sort of transition now into more of local media, and people are looking for that local component, and that's what I'm big on, is drawing in on what's happening in our community and sharing that with you every day.
Right.
From a different angle. We're fortunate and unfortunate. A lot of stations, PEG stations, have a lot of volunteers or have people interested in creating programming, and that just hasn't been the case since I took the manager position. It's been hard to get anybody to come out, local producers like you that want to come out and do something. It's just not. I think with YouTube and phones and everything, it's easy to get the word out. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult
Actually,
to get volunteers to walk through the door.
right. I can tell you that I think, from my experience, Jeremy, I think what some of the issue is just a lot of people don't know what you do and what's offered. I really think that's the biggest deal, because I consider what you guys do. You're the original YouTube. You're the original.
It's
right?
true. It's true.
And as we move forward on the show, we're going to dive into who you are and what you actually offer, because it's a great platform for free speech, quite frankly, to share ideas from the everyday person, and to celebrate our local heroes, not who national media tell us our influencers are or our leaders are, but really leaders that are jumping up out of the community, that are active in the community, that are truly vested in those communities, being able to speak to some of the issues from personal experience or being connected to others that are in the community, and have those conversations influence policy, influence ideas to help push the community as a whole together. So I celebrate everything that you guys do, and I'm very appreciative of the platform that you provided for the Conversation Shop with Sedrick Page. I mean, for me, as you know, and I'll share with the audience, this is a labor of love for me. I almost passed away some years ago, and on that quote-unquote deathbed, I asked God to give me an opportunity to touch people's lives in a positive way. I actually didn't know how I was going to be able to do it. And I remember coming down talking to you about what I wanted to do and just being able to completely just move into it. It was very seamless to me. I think it was a little bit of you, a little bit of kind of the background I had, but it was very seamless. And I just celebrate your support and what you've done, and your staff has supported the message that we're trying to bring to the community here. And I just want to thank you for that. So I want to also, again, ask, and on this show, educate the public on anyone that's in a situation like me that wants to make an impact. They can't do that. We're going to talk about the commitment as well, because there's
I'm on the commitment side. Yep.
Because there has to be a commitment to consistency, and I've learned that with traveling and mixing this in my schedule. But we're also going to talk about the commitment, because there has to be some professionalism and commitment that's attached to moving forward and partnering with you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, as a community producer, that's the area that you're in here. There's probably two components. You can come and volunteer for the station if you want to. Anybody.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Anybody. Our one of our goals of many is, if you're interested in learning about production, video production, multimedia, we're a space for that. So we hold classes from. We've done all the way down to second grade,
okay,
all the way to senior center classes, and we'll do multimedia classes. We'll train you specifically in this area. If you want to be a community producer, you were interested in being, with the show Conversation Shop. Mm-hmm. What I would have offered to you is having the opportunity to come in, do your producing, pull your show together. Offer you the opportunity and the resources you would need to do that if you came in with no experience. Mm-hmm. Our staff has had a lot of experience. We've got somebody that's been in media for many moons. We all come with different backgrounds, and we try to express that to the folks that come through. So we've helped you, bring the show forward and tell you the pieces we need, and you just fit in. You just sit down now, and you're like, all right, this is what we're going to do, and you're able to do that, and that's great. That's what we want to do. But if somebody's coming off the street or is interested in doing something to get the message out there, you come in, you meet with us, we talk about what you want to do, and I always start with, and I'm sure you'll remember this from our meetings, but I'm always like, well, if you're looking at a 12-month calendar, and you're wanting to do a show, can you fill, 12? Can you do 12 shows for the year? Mm-hmm. Whether that show is 10 minutes long or 2 hours long, can you do 12 shows a year? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the basis where we start at, and then any training or tools that we can provide after that. That's the direction we go in. So.
And I think you guys do a great job. But one of the things I want to just circle back to is the classes. I think that's extraordinary. And you touched on very kind of quickly the fact that you'll educate them all the way down to the second grade. I think that's extraordinary. And to my audience, what Jeremy is talking about is, let's say you're sitting at home and you're inspired by something. You're like, hey, I have a voice. I have a story to tell. And I want to tell that story, but I don't know how to. I don't know what's available to me, nor do I have, quote unquote, the skill set to do it. What Jeremy is saying is, set a meeting with him if you're interested in getting into Fact TV or media. Let's have a conversation about the show you want to have. And then what he's also saying is that through Fact TV, they'll train you to be a community producer. You can shadow the editors, you can shadow other producers, you can see how the shows are put together, you can see how we do segments, and you can see how the segment flows into advertisement. So there's a lot of things that are available to you as a community producer for you to have the show that you want, and then there's opportunities for you to generate revenue for your show via advertisement as well, or through community gifts or community donations. And again, on the show, we're going to talk about how you can donate to Fact TV, which I think is very important for us to have these kind of avenues to get our message out. And that's what I want to talk about and keep yelling left and right. We want and we need donations, anything that you're willing to offer or to donate to Fact TV to keep us here so we can keep servicing the community in a key word, in a very positive way. Very positive way. But again, we're talking about free speech. So there's no, Jeremy, you can tell me if there's limitations, but we're not here to tell someone what to say or how to say it. I mean, can you elaborate a little bit on if there's any free speech limitations to being a community producer?
There are some gray areas, right?
Okay.
We know from what's in place for community access through the government. You know, we're talking about language. You're talking about, you know, you're not gonna do anything with sex. You're not gonna do nudity. You're not. You're not gonna be discriminatory. Those sort of things we'll look at and determine. Ultimately, I'm a city employee, so my reporting person is the city administrator and the mayor. So and then city council, right? So that's who I'm working for. So we can kind of look at what you're interested in doing, but if it's, you know, if we determine that it's somewhere in that gray area, then, you know, we got to have some discussions.
No,
so.
definitely.
But I don't want to discourage anybody from coming out and doing it. You're right. It's a free speech. That's what PEG was all about. Was there's your access part of television, right?
Right.
Is coming in and doing something that you're passionate about and sharing out with the community. So
Yeah. I just wanted the audience to know what some of the limitations of the questions you were going to ask. But again, it's to provide a space for the public to come, utilize your free speech and access in order to discuss topics that are important to you or you feel may be important to the community. So again, I celebrate you on that. And as the show goes on today, we're going to dig deeply into how that's done.
Oh yeah, I'll show you. We'll talk about the funding. That's an important piece.
Okay. Well, guys, we'll be right back on the Conversation Shop. Hi, welcome back to the Conversation Shop with Sedrick Page. I'm here with my very special guest, again, Jeremy Crosby of Fact TV. Jeremy, we were having a great discussion earlier about the platform that Fact TV provides to the community, but we never talked about the service area. So
Whoops.
Let's tell the customers the service area that's provided by Fact TV, but also let's talk about some of the partnerships you have with other stations that are similar to you and how that can benefit a community producer.
All right, so Fact TV, Fitchburg Access Community Television, we have 3 channels. You see, I should have went to the basics, right? And it's on the shirts displayed there. So we have 3 channels here. We have labeled them F1, F2, F3 because we broadcast to so many different media outlets. We kind of looked at our branding and said we got to find a way that people can identify to each station, whether you're on cable TV, whether you're online, whether you're on Roku, you know, all these places that you can find us have their own channel numbers and everything. So we went to this F1, F2, F3, F1 being the media channel that's dedicated to community information. It's our bulletin board. We call it your guide to Fact TV.
Yes.
But it's a bulletin board for people to post up stuff, share out with the community, put out meeting information, you name it, it's out there, programming information, all that. The comm channel, the channel you're watching now, F2, is dedicated. It's the community channel. It's dedicated to the community. So our goal is to share with the community anything and everything that's happening in the community, whether it's community producers like you that produce shows on Talking Fitchburg's on here, PM, FM. Those are our daily newscasts that we do. We have a daily newscast here every day that's on at noon through the comm channel. And then we have F3, our government channel. And that's, as it's in the title, government programming all the time. So we're lucky enough to have, 3 platforms to get information out to the community. Some places only have 1 channel. So for us, You can say it's lucky or a curse because there's 3 channels we got to create content for too. So,
Right.
But no, we make it work really well. And a unique challenge here in the city of Fitchburg is we're in 3 school districts. Part of one of the reasons we have the 3 channels, you could use those for all of the school districts we want to. So a lot of times you have the community has a channel and the school district has a channel. That's what you usually see. So we see 2 channels per city. In our case, we have 3 because we have 3 school districts. Maybe that played a role into it. I don't know officially. But we're in the Oregon, Verona, and Madison school districts, for folks who don't know that. So when we're talking about our service area, that's one area that we're looking at that we've got to provide, or we're providing information to those school districts. Besides just Fitchburg, so your service area is that. Now, if you've got Spectrum, and we broadcast on Spectrum, TDS TV, and AT&T.
What channels on Spectrum?
Well, glad
TDS?
you asked. And I have to have my cheat sheet because there are so many different numbers here. But on Spectrum TV, the media channel is 987, 985 for the community channel, and 986 for government channel. I should have read those probably the other way. But for TDS TV, a couple years ago, we got into their market. That's channel 6 for media channel, channel 7 for community channel, and channel 8 for government. AT&T UVerse is channel 99. You have to go through a menu. We're told we actually don't get UVerse in our office here. So we have no way of actually previewing what's going on UVerse. We have this nice person who calls us and lets us know if there's an issue. Which is kind of weird, but it's not in all the cities. Same with TDS. It's not available all across the city. It's in only certain areas. So, but AT&T, it's channel 99, and then you look for our 3 channels.
Got you.
Now, we got onto Apple TV and Roku last year. Well, end of last year, beginning of this year. Which is really awesome. So you can check out our government channel and our community channel streaming live. Go back and watch your shows on there. And so that opens us up to worldwide. And we've been streaming all 3 of our channels since 2010.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the stations that we hear from are just getting into streaming. We've been streaming for a long, long time. And that's important because we want to reach everybody. That's our goal. And that's why we have all the platforms. We want to be able to reach as many people as possible.
Now, let me ask you a quick question real quick. So once you're on Roku, Apple TV, or YouTube, just kind of spoon feed me a little bit. How do we find you? Because I'll have some people go, I can't find the show.
That's our number one problem, Sedrick. We need you to go out and keep telling people where to find us. When you're talking about Apple TV or Roku, you have to download an app called Screenweaver.
Screenweaver.
I know it sounds really weird, but that's the app. We have this on our website, by the way, on a step process how to do this.
And what's the website?
fitchburgwi.gov/FactTV.
Okay, gotcha.
You can check that out. And then you'll search City of Fitchburg, look for our logo, and you'll find our 2 channels on there. And it's kind of cool because the app that we're using, it's in combination with anybody who has the system that we have. So across the U.S., you can actually check in the local television across the U.S. for free.
Really, that's cool.
So you don't even need cable TV, although we'll talk about why you need cable TV for other reasons, but we're on a national app, which is pretty cool. So Screenweaver.
And what's the app again? Because I'm going to go download when I get home.
Cablecast Screenweaver, but I just searched Screenweaver and you'll find it. It's green. You can't miss it. And then search Fact TV and you'll be good to go. City of Fitchburg keyword. You'll find that. So when you're talking about the service area, well, it might be Fitchburg. You think we're City of Fitchburg. We're really serving Fitchburg, Oregon, Verona, and Madison for our school district. So that makes it a little bit of a challenge for us. And when we talk about why Fact TV might be so important, we feel that we're providing and trying to keep everybody together. When you have everybody going to different school districts, you could have your neighbors here going to Madison, your other one going to Verona. It can be hard to have that sense of community. So I think for us, it's kind of cool that we're able to display everything from the different school districts. We partner with the other stations. I know you had asked me or had said that earlier. We work with Oregon. Oregon has their own TV station in the high school. So we work with the Oregon media. We actually work with Stoughton. We work with all the Dane County stations pretty heavily, but Verona, the city has it. We work, the school district doesn't have one, but we do the school district's work. and then Madison. We're still working on Madison, but
Okay.
But yeah, we can reach quite a large audience. So
Yeah, I think that's
so
great.
when you're traveling, you can watch your show.
I know. I tell people to actually pull it up and show people. Now, one of the things I wanted you to touch on real quickly before we get into funding and how you can help this keep going is content. I just want to backtrack a little bit on content and have you spoon feed my audience a little bit on content. Again, the content that you have, the kind of content you have, and the kind of content that you would hope to find in community volunteers and community producers. Would you touch on that a little bit?
So it's kind of interesting. When I say we've transitioned in 2010, we've done a lot of transitioning throughout the years. We used to go out, film whatever was happening in the community. We still do that. We'd film in its entirety, which is part of PEG. Just give you everything, right? Give you access to everything. And we would put it up, we'd call it a show and move on. And we would do 200, plus shows, right? And then we'd have some shows that we would actually create where they'd be like 30-minute, hour formats. We just found that people weren't really tuning into the stuff we were creating. We even tried to create some different shows. We were filming, as many different things as possible, and we felt like it wasn't really hitting our target audience or what people were looking at. I'd mentioned that we need more community producers. We weren't having a lot, still don't.
So we're going to change that.
That's
why we're talking about it.
We'll get you to join in. So we've kind of gone into more of a local news format. We still film everything in its entirety and post it up in its entirety, but we also trim it down for you and use that to our advantage as a newscast. I have this cool flow chart in my office that shows when we go out and film a program what it turns into, and it turns into almost 10 different things from one show.
Really?
And when we start chopping it up and moving it out, because we can film it, replay it in its entirety, we can put a little snippet on YouTube and Facebook. We put it through our newscasts. We have 3 newscasts, right? And put it through there. And then we can go back and pull on it for B-roll for other shows. If you were to talk about an event, I could give you that video and you could reuse it. So we kind of developed this Talking Fitchburg model that it gives you your local news. And we wanted to dumb it down, not because we think people weren't going to understand the news, but we didn't want it to be a serious newscast. We set it up as more of a podcasting look. So a lot of people think we do radio when they see the microphone. You walk in here, you're like, wait, why are you having radio mics? It's just the aesthetic of, we didn't think people would take us serious if we sit behind a news desk and give you the same thing. We wanted to be local media, be right there. So when you watch Talking Fitchburg every day, which fortunately and unfortunately I get to host every day.
That's good.
You should host it, not me. Just saying. You got the voice. I'm just a dude.
No, you do a great job. You do a great job.
We want it to be fun. So Andrew and I, the director of the show, I have him come on, and we always start off with the show telling stories that we don't even know. It's the same. Like, we sit down. I might even not tell him. He comes on air, and I was like, "So, Andrew, talk about the kids. What did they get into yesterday?" But we want to start it lighthearted, and then we present stuff that's happening in the community, so you know what's happening in the community. But we have a newspaper. The newspaper can do the newspaper thing. The city can put out their information, and we kind of sit right in the middle, and we try to drive getting out and showing off what's happening in the community. So if you don't know what's going on, that's our goal. So when we're looking at content, that's our primary goal. Is if you don't know what's going on in the city, or we're not presenting that to you, then we feel like we're not doing our job. That's where we want to be. We want to show you what's happening, show you the great things and there's so many things that happen in the community. A lot of people are like, how can you do a daily newscast in one city? And I'm like,
there's a lot of things going on.
If you really open up and really, expand your mind a little bit, you can learn a lot. And we have a lot of great businesses, a lot of great nonprofits, and the city's got a lot of stuff going on. So
there's always festivals and different things going on, yes.
You'll always see a camera out there. It's probably us. We're probably taping something, and you'll probably see it the next day, if not the same day, which was also a big problem for us. We would go out and film a show, and we might not see it till 2 weeks later.
Right.
We're like, we're not doing us any service if we don't get this out now, because people want it now, right?
Right.
And our recent, this year, we invested in a portable streaming unit.
Nice.
So we can actually go on location and broadcast that back to our station and put that up live. So when we have our ribbon cuttings, groundbreaking, sporting events, all that, we can broadcast those live now on location, which is
I
important
like
to
that.
us.
That's very good.
So we're still in the testing phase. It's almost coming up on a year, and we're still working through some kinks. But it's really, that's our goal. We have other shows. We've got the Conversation Shop. We've got Learning Annex 2.0. It's driven from the Senior Center, but just special guests talking about different whatevers going on. Supposed to be more informational. So they've had like different newscasts personalities on, and they had Craig Culvert on one time.
Oh, nice.
But it's just to be more informational. Local perspective is something done through the state of Wisconsin, and I'm drawing a blank here on the thing. Scott could probably tell me if I have my earpiece in. He would tell me. The League of Municipalities. Thank you. I knew he would yell it for me. That's a great partnership there. We still have Capital City Band as a local content producer. We broadcast their stuff. We're working into a new partnership with Channel 3000. Haven't really talked a lot about it to a lot of people yet because we're still working out the kinks, but the city signed a contract with them for a year for broadcasting local sports through Channel 3000.
Hold that thought. We're going to touch on that and elaborate on that a little bit in the next segment. We'll be right back on the Conversation Shop. Welcome back to the Conversation Shop with Sedrick Page. I'm here with my very special guest, Mr. Jeremy Crosby of Fact TV. Jeremy, on the last segment, we were talking about content. And one of the topics we talked about was your bulletin board and how that's available to the community. So I wanted you to, again, spoon feed my audience and tell us how can we get information onto that bulletin board. And then once you give us that information, I want you really to go into telling us about, charitable donations and how my public, my supporting public can assist my show as well as Fact TV and staying on the air. It's very important for us to provide a platform to the community, and I celebrate what Mr. Crosby and Fact TV are doing. Jeremy?
All right. The bulletin board, the Media Channel F1 has the bulletin board. Anybody who's interested in getting any type of information, upcoming events, things that are happening in the city up there, all you have to do is send us an email here at Fact TV. We got many emails here, but
email address?
FactTV at fitchburgwi.gov.
One more time?
FactTV at fitchburgwi.gov is the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
Send that to us, and we can get that posted up. It's as easy as that. We can even take your calls.
Right.
270-4226.
Repeat that one more time.
Shouldn't even give my own number out there, but 270-4226-225 is our other main line. So
Gotcha.
Either or, just call the city of Fitchburg. They're the 4200 line, I believe. So
Okay. And again, for my audience, that's for the bulletin board that's provided through Fact TV. If there's any information you want to communicate to the community, programming, different events that are going on, please reach out via email or give Jeremy a call here at Fact TV, and it'll be his pleasure to support you.
yeah, it's a free thing. There's no cost to posting up on there, but we're not going to solicit businesses or anything like that. It's just, again, it's supposed to be that bulletin board where you're putting up that poster of a picnic coming up or whatever. So
Right.
That's how that works.
And the key word to my audience is free. Okay, because I know a lot of you out there are worried about, may not have the funding for this, that it's just a way to get information out and look at it from that standpoint. And my motto is, when in doubt, always ask the questions.
Yeah, and get on Fact TV too. I mean,
Yes.
Even if you're afraid to come on and take the step that you did, we still invite people to come in. We have a lot of people that are like, I got this event coming up, and I was like, well, you want to come on Talking Fitchburg and talk about it?
Yes.
It's a free, that's a free thing. Come on in and let us know. Let us get it out there. If it's helping a nonprofit, it's helping, getting it out to the residents here. That's our goal.
That sounds great. And I want to reiterate that for those that are interested in getting information out or being a guest. You have a topic or something that you're passionate about that you want to talk about, reach out to Jeremy here at Fact TV. Reach out to me here on a Conversation Shop. I would love to have an opportunity to provide a platform for any kind of community growth and community information. So again, reach out to us on the email address again.
facttv@fitchburgwi.gov.
And the telephone number again?
608-270-4226.
Thank you.
And it's on the website, fitchburgwi.gov. I mean, it's easy as that. Just look for the logo, Fact TV. That's the fastest way to contact us. All our information's there.
Got you. Go to the website. Go to the website. Go to the website. Jeremy, I want to dive right into us discussing ways to keep this platform available to the public. The first thing I want you to talk about is just donations, charitable donations that the public can give to Fact TV, how that works. And also, I wanted to talk about on the shows and the different things that you're doing for people in the community that are interested in paid advertisement, what's available to them on that. Is that okay?
Oh yeah. That's a big box, so we'll try and dive through it.
Okay.
I think folks should understand the funding of Fact TV. So a lot of people might think we're on the tax roll, so your property tax or whatever, but we're not. In Fact TV, even though it's a city department, we're actually getting our funding from franchise fees. And this is all public information. It's all in our budgets, everything that submits in there. Franchise fees come from cable companies. So cable companies, again, going back to that government, when we're talking about how PEG stations that were established, there was something called a franchise fee that was put out there.
I see them on bills.
You see it on the bill. You'll see it on there. It'll say franchise fee. And most of the cable companies will probably say it has nothing to do with us. They'll happily put our numbers down, and it's fine. We'll explain it to you. But basically, 5% of the fees. They collect a 5% fee, that being the cable companies. They have to collect that, and they'll give that to the municipalities. It's up to the municipalities whether they want to use it for TV, for the PEG stations, or they can use it, put it in the general fund, and do whatever they want to. It didn't used to be that way, but that's the way it is now.
Okay.
The city of Fitchburg has graciously continued to put it into Fact TV.
Right.
So we get that from AT&T, TDS, and Spectrum.
And we applaud them for that. And I want to state that again. Who is it? Who are you getting it from?
That's coming from your cable providers here. So it was important when TDS was interested in coming in here. We're like, yeah, we want you to come in because that's funding for and more access for people, and they have better choice in picking whatever cable TV provider they want, and we get the funding. Satellite TV does not offer that. So satellite TV, we can't be on satellite TV. No PEG station in the U.S. is on a satellite TV.
I didn't know that.
So that's just off the table.
Okay.
Maybe that'll change someday, but I've not heard of it talking, and I don't know the story behind it, but that's that. So as you know, we're into the cable cutting world, and also the cable companies are not necessarily interested in keeping local TV up because it's money out of their pocket to keep their end up. We have to pay for everything on our end to broadcast to them, but they have to receive that signal. As we've learned throughout the years, they're not interested in doing that. So on top of that and the cable cutting, our funding has continued to decline. We see it across the U.S. We're not alone. Dane County, you name it, all stations have the problem, and it's hurting. It's cutting into the funding. So back in 2008, Governor Doyle at the time allowed PEG stations in Wisconsin because their franchise fees were being cut. There were some new mandates put in place. They lost a PEG fee, which is an additional fee that could be charged. That was gone. They opened up that they didn't have to provide, again, the municipalities didn't have to provide TV. They eliminated that, so a lot of stations closed after that, and stations continue to close today because if they don't have enough funding, they just move it over to the general fund and cut the TV component. Okay. So during that time, when that all happened, it was said that local stations like us could do paid advertising because they needed a way to make money. If you were taking the money away, they said you needed to find, give them the opportunity to have advertising. So that's what opened up the advertising world. There was a lot of gray in that because how do you advertise? You don't want political people paying for political ads, supporting, so it's a really gray area. It takes a lot of time. We finally made it through the P's and P's, the policy and procedures on all of that. Got that approved through council or through our city administration and lawyer, and or attorney, however you say it. But either way, we have that in place now. So
Okay.
we offer advertising packages for people, businesses that are in the area. We actually started a show called Inside Business. It's a free show for businesses to come on. It's an 8-minute, 8 to 10-minute segment showing off your business. And when we come out to do that, we talk about opportunities to advertise on Fact TV. Whether if you want to just do a monthly ad, if you want to do something yearly, we have packages available to do that. Fact TV doesn't really take donations.
Okay.
Certainly, if you wanted to donate to the government, yeah, I suppose you can do that. But we don't have any. We're not the city is a nonprofit, but we don't have a nonprofit wing set up at Fact TV. That's not the.
Gotcha.
Not where they're going to. So if you want to get involved, we want you to become a member. Right?
Gotcha.
So you're a paid member on the show or with Fact TV. It's something we went to a couple of years ago. It gives us money to put away to provide you the equipment and whatnot as a funding source for us. And that's the way you can kind of get involved. So when we're talking about wanting to get people involved, we want you to get involved because we want to make sure you have access to doing everything, but we want you to be a member to help support and make sure, we can stay up and be here for you.
How do we become a member?
So it's easy. You just come down to City Hall. If you want to volunteer, you can come down here and just volunteer if you're interested in volunteering, learning about the equipment and stuff. Becoming a member moves you into more of you want to create the content.
Gotcha.
You're interested in making a show. So when you come down here, it's the same thing that we talked about before. You can give me a call. You can send me an email. Come on down here. I'm not going to say I need $25 or whatever we're at to talk to you. I'll talk to you. We'll determine if you want to be a part of it, have access to the studio, to our equipment, and it's available for you. It's as easy as that. You fill out a simple. Hopefully you filled that out a long time.
Yeah, I filled out the form.
Yeah, you had to fill out some paperwork.
I filled
right?
out the little form.
But it's as easy. It's a yearly membership. I believe it's under $30 still. So we're trying to keep it low key as best we can, but still be able to make the equipment available for anybody interested. And
I wanted to just add with the advertising slots, I want to tell my public, I think it's a great way for small and mid-sized businesses to get their messages out. The advertising packages are very reasonable compared to what you would be paying in other places. And I just think a lot of the public don't know what's available to them. So I want to reiterate that and state there's 15-minute slots, there's 8-minute slots, and there's 30-second.
Yeah, we have 1 minute
seconds.
30, and I believe I think they're just 1 minute 30s, maybe even a 2-minute.
Maybe a 2-minute one.
But just come on down, talk to me, and we can go through those different components. So there's no negotiating or anything. It's a straight up. This is what it is. The prices are set by council. So it is what it is. It's part of the budget every year. The fees. So we've already set our fees for next year, and I can tell you that they're not going up next year.
Got you. And I just wanted to reiterate that. And again, I wanted to clarify for my audience because I do have colleagues that are willing to just come down and cut a check. So if we have someone that wants to do that in support of Fact TV, they can't come and talk to you.
Come and talk to me. We'll see what we can do.
Come and talk to Jeremy, and we'll see. Because there's always equipment and different things that's needed here, or donations, tables, backgrounds, different things like that we could definitely utilize. So I don't want to shut the door on some of those things. So I want to, again, reach out to Jeremy and let's talk about it. Jeremy, we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper on the last segment here. We'll be right back on the Conversation Shop. Hi, welcome back to the Conversation Shop with Sedrick Page. Again, I'm here with my very special guest, Jeremy Crosby of Fact TV. Jeremy, we're going to dive right back in to what we were talking about. I really want you to talk to me about, in a couple segments prior, we talked about local sports, and I don't want to leave that out. Please tell me about let's talk about local sports and your coverage for local sports here.
So we were talking a little bit about if you wanted to advertise with Fact TV before, and a new initiative that the Channel 3000 world, or Channel 3 as the CBS affiliate here in Madison, is reaching out to local PEG stations to pay for them to film local sports. In return, they're giving some money to the station, and access to put the links up on Channel 3000
Oh, nice.
is their Prep Mania piece. So we're talking all season long. You're between football, basketball, soccer, you name it. If you do it, you can put it up there. Plus, you can keep streaming up there as well, 24/7. So we're working on the details with that. But basically, we have advertising that we can sell through us to Channel 3000. So if you want to advertise with Fact TV through Channel 3000, we have some pieces that we can do with that. We're still working on some of the details on that part, but you can check in with me just like we were saying about signing up for advertising. So,
Okay.
and one thing to close out the advertising world with us, I think one thing that's been frustrating for the businesses that have been interested, and I'm sure this is really going to hurt me in getting new people to join in, but cable companies don't provide numbers to PEG stations. So I have no way of telling you how many people watch. That is the number one question, right? We're going to sit down and have that conversation. They don't have to provide those numbers, so I can't tell you who's watching, who's not watching.
Got you loud and clear.
So it's like going on and selling advertising blind, or I just don't have that info to get out there. Now we do broadcasts online, and I can give you some of those numbers, and those are numbers we're using to talk about what we're doing here. But that's something that I think is important to know,
Right.
because I don't want you. I have nothing to hide here. I want you to know that we do broadcast local. Our news station, or Talking Fitchburg, was created not only to get local content out there, but as a place that people could know that it's happening every single day. So they know if they were advertising with us, they would know that new content is being put out there every single day. So it would give a reason for people to want to tune in, and hopefully the business is the opportunity for the eyeballs to see that said advertising. So,
Well, as a businessman, I want to reiterate as well that there's alternate ways to manage your views and your clicks to validate your ROI on your investment in your advertisement. And I want to tell you that just with the conversation shop and me not really being focused on it, I mean, I advertise and I pay attention to clicks and understand, well, one click can look like it's low here, but the same show on another spot will show a whole lot of different clicks. So it's ways for you to monitor your views and your access. And I can tell you, as a community producer, it'll be money well spent. Quite frankly, money well spent. As I do my shows, I have copies of my shows and links that I can post myself outside of what Fact TV does. I post my show in multiple and sometimes similar platforms to push my audience back to Fact TV. So there's a lot of benefits to having other community producers that are pushing advertising and pushing it back to Fact TV. That gives you access to, quite frankly, our audience as well. So you have access to multiple shows, the audience of from multiple producers. It gives you the access that you're looking for, which is basically what I'm saying. So again, I want to reiterate what you were saying earlier, Jeremy. It's money well spent. You receive your ROI. And what I would always recommend is come down and have the conversation with Jeremy. And I want to reiterate, for the small business owner, for the mid-sized business owner that wants to get their message out, the bulletin board, which is free. There's so many avenues for you to get your message out. It's a no-brainer to come sit down and have the conversation.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. Sorry, Jeremy, I just wanted to add.
Well, no, I think that's great information. We want, we think when I go out and we have the talk, I'm talking about the partnership that you're doing. You're partnering with the city of Fitchburg. We're already out there trying to help make sure that we're getting your voice out and we're sharing as much as we can with our community. And a lot of time that is business information. We love sharing about what's happening at the businesses. We do that every day for free. And again, we want you to be a partner with us in the long term for not only funding Fact TV, but again, keeping the citizens up to date of what's happening in their city. Again, we have a lot of great businesses here that are doing some amazing things, and we love sharing that information,
Right.
whether it's a paycheck or not a paycheck. So,
I understand. And again, we talked earlier about what you guys, and I'm kind of circling the wagon a little bit, Jeremy. We talked a little bit about what you're doing in the schools and access, which community outreach is very important to me. So even though you touched on it, can you talk a little bit more in detail about if there's schools, if there's organizations that work with kids that are interested in partnering or working with you? We're telling you, you can go to the website, you can give a call, but how does that actually work? And give us some examples of what you're doing.
Yeah. For instance, we've done stuff with the Boys and Girls Club in the past,
Yes.
where we've brought we have 7 camera kits that are ready to go. We can come out to, say it's a Boys and Girls, whatever. You want to set up something, we can come out, bring the cameras out, get the technology in the kids' hands. It can just be a basic video class. Just putting a camera in a kid's hand is a lot of fun. But yeah, if any organization's interested in partnering with us, we're willing to teach them, again, starting from nothing, and take it as far as the organization wants to go. So Boys and Girls Club, we were coming in on an after-school type of deal, and just putting the camera in the hands, and they got to play with the camera gear, something that maybe they didn't have an opportunity for. We made that available. We've done it after-school programs up at Leopold Elementary School, where we come in, again, in the evening time for an hour and put the cameras out and talk about filming, good ways of filming. It can be as easy as that, but with the schools, I've gone into the schools, talked to classes. We've offered kids to come over here and do some filming. We're hoping with the sports stuff that we do, that while we're in the high school, we'll be working on Verona School District heavily to start off with. We're hoping that students who are interested in joining in, have an interest. In fact, I got my start in high school in a PEG station.
Really?
In my high school. I walked in, and the person at the time handed me a camera and said, "You look like a guy who could shoot sports." And I was always interested in news and that sort of thing, and that was my kickstart. And I always tell, I've taught college classes, intro classes, and I always tell people who are interested in video production or anything, just get your hands on something.
Right.
If you're passionate, just like you are, you're passionate about reaching, and getting your message out. Here you are in at Fact TV, practicing that, and we're trying to give you the tools to do that. So if you want to take it that next level, hopefully we're getting you on the right path. If it's
You definitely do.
Yeah, if you're going to be here with us forever, we're going to be happy about that. But that would be our goal, is to get the technology in the hands, even if it's just one day or it's going to be a long-term thing. We used to wanted to start you early, so hopefully you'd stay with Fact TV. And want to do things in the future, but
my goal is to stay with Fact TV. I love the platform, quite frankly, that you provide. I love the creative environment that you provide, and for people who are artistic and have that, this is a place for you to create. I'm excited about some of the other ideas that I have. My issue is time and time management, because I'm doing this in the midst of having full time and traveling. So to my audience, I do this in the middle of literally traveling about 75% of the time, and this is a labor of love for me. It's a celebration of the real heroes, who I think are you, people in the community that are affecting lives on an everyday basis, and that's very important to me. So Jeremy, the last 3 minutes of the show I want to dedicate to you, talking about volunteers. Walk me through high school students that want to volunteer and come in and learn about video, because you have podcasts now. Everybody wants to be podcasters. Hoorah, you can come down here and learn how to put that show and manage those things on your own. That's something that you can learn. And then take me through avenues of volunteering for adults in the community, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've reached out to, in the past, some of the high school classes that are in multimedia classes, and have offered two-way communications, and trying to say anybody who's interested in pursuing that, come on down here. Sometimes it's transportation coming from a school to get here, but any high school student that's interested in multimedia, that could be podcasting, radio, video production, TV, news.
Say that one more time. Could be what?
Multimedia, for us, multimedia can be a whole bunch of different things. It can be podcasting, it could be radio, it could be TV, news. It could be graphic design.
Yes.
When you're talking about art, I mean, multimedia is a big umbrella. So, you know, we dabble in a little bit of everything here at Fact TV. We got to talk about equipment.
Yes,
So
let's
we
talk
talk about
equipment.
the high school component. You know, we might want to pique some interest here on what we have. So
'Cause you got green screens and everything
we got
here.
2 studios, right? You're in Studio 1 right now. We have a full another studio on the other side in our community center. We have full switching units, meaning multimedia switching, so stuff that you would use for live sports, newscasts, all of that. We got that. We got editing software, both Final Cut and Adobe. We have all
Say that again, Final
Cut
Cut.
and Adobe Suite. So, and we've got training on both sides, so we can train somebody in those different areas. The cameras are amazing. We've got cameras that go from a GoPro all the way up to what you would see in a news studio, teleprompters, the full bit. We have green screen. We have portable green screen even, so we can take it on the road if we have to. We have professional lighting, professional audio equipment. The things that make and break typical production, not just the phone, you know, we can take it to that next level and have checkout kits for, you've checked out the kits before
Yes.
as well. So we have the top-notch technology as far as what's available for community producers.
Right.
And adults, circling back to that, adults that are interested in just are looking for that start, come on down to Fact TV. That's the start, right? Come on down. Come down and visit. If you want to volunteer to get things off, we have somebody who's been volunteering with us for over a year and a half now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's great. He started from, he was interested, and he keeps coming back, and he helps us do our meetings every night. But he's interested in learning, and he's just slowly developing the skills, and he ended up getting a job in 2 different television stations.
Oh, nice.
We've had a lot of people that have come through for volunteering, or we've had internships in the past that have transitioned into full careers. So we are a stepping stone for a lot of people to that next thing. That's fine. That's part of community media, I think. Is we have the technology that is out there and that people would actually get their hands on if they actually do this for a living.
Well, Jeremy, for my last minute of the show, I want you to leave my audience with some words of wisdom or some final words.
Well, that was a bad mistake right there, Sedrick.
Well-
No, you know, Fact TV, we're here for you. I mean, bottom line, we're here for anybody that's interested in creating media. We're going to continue to provide local access to things that are happening in your community. That's our forward thinking, is we're going to continue to do what we do every day and keeping the folks up to date on what's happening out there. From all aspects. We have great access to a lot of places, so we can keep people up to date on what's going on, and keep an eye on what we're doing. Check us on Facebook, check us on YouTube.
Yes.
Hit the website fitchburgwi.gov. Get yourself signed up. Check me out on Talking Fitchburg every day.
Telephone number if they want to reach you.
608-270-4225 is the main number. 226 is my my office number. And a lot of time I say on my show, I say, call Andrew. He'll deal with all of it. We don't send anything to Scott. Scott's our mysterious guy
Gotcha.
back there. But yeah, Sedrick, you keep up the good work for what you're doing with your local show. We appreciate you. Continue to be a member here, and
I appreciate you as well, sir.
yeah, we'll maybe I'll get back on the show sometime.
You'll definitely be back
You
on
may
the
want
show.
to ask me now, so I'll get on your calendar in about a year.
We're definitely going to talk about that, but I want to thank you sincerely for being a guest, and thank you for your time, sir.
Appreciate it.
I thank you, and join us again on The Conversation Shop.